A lot of works have been dedicated to the intimate life of couples, dating way back to the Middle Ages. Some have offered strange testimonies about the concerns of the people of those times. But we're here to say, if it's not broken, well, you know the rest. Historical evidence shows that not only in the 21st century, but since the Middle Ages, people have been concerned about the sexual education of young people. Historians say that the first textbooks containing sex advice had been circulating in medieval Europe since the 12th and 13th centuries. The guides received attention with the development of cities, which attracted the young and poorly educated population from villages. Young women were taught how to avoid falling prey to men's advances before marriage, and how to behave in order to make their husbands happy. They also learned about fertility, increasing sexual appetite, and how to even mask their loss of virginity. Here are some of the most unusual teachings. The most powerful medieval aphrodisiac. Constantine, the African, an Islamic scholar converted to Christianity in the 11th century, was the author of extensive works on foods and herbs that cause desire, and could be used as remedies for different intimate problems. The monk's theory was that some drinking foods influence semen production and may have a role in aphrodisiacs. The foods has to be nutritious, very light, and hot and humid. This was all before chocolate became the Kardashians of all things sweet and sexy. He wrote about other food and drinks that could be used to stimulate sexual desire, foods such as fresh meat, yellows, pepper, wine, and brains. In contrast, according to the student, cold foods such as cucumbers, melons, lemons, salad, and fish suppressed appetites. His recipes included various combinations, some with the strangest ingredients: sparrow and pigeon brains, lamb juice, fried onion juices. He didn't stop there. Oh no, he didn't. He also considered certain parts of animals' genitals as aphrodisiacs. People believe they had a magical or medical effect. Take a bull's penis, dry it, and tread it. Then spread it with pieces on a tortilla and taste it, wrote Dr. Maimonides in the 12th century, which is just too weird and bizarre. Anyway, in case you need help with that section, find an animal and mutilate his genitals. The bigger the animal, the better. I advise you to find the kraken in the sea. I hear theirs lasts a lifetime. 2. Aromatic plants used for masturbation. Before Pornhub was cool, masturbation was considered a sin in the Middle Ages. It was also considered harmful to the body and spirit of a person. The church imposed severe penalties on those who recognized sin, especially if you were a priest or a monk. In contrast, unmarried youth and those rejected by spouses were treated with more leniency. However, some medical scholars have argued that the disorder was not harmful because if it was allowed to grow inside the body, the semen could cause serious illness or death. Thus, to avoid the consequences of lacks of sexual relations, some medieval doctors recommended the sexual stimulation of the genital organs as a form of preventative medicine, especially those without partners. The treatment was suitable for women who suffered from the suffocation of the uterus as a result of withholding seeds. Trust the 12th century to make women sound like watermelons. In such cases, marriage was the most appropriate medical solution. But if a woman could not marry and was considered that her life was in danger and genital massage could be the only solution, then masturbation was no longer considered a sin. According to the history site notchesblog.com, if a woman was on the verge of fainting, the midwife should insert her finger oiled with lily, bay, or spikenard oil, aromatic healing plant, into her womb and move it vigorously, some medieval writing showed. Some women needed to use their fingers or other tools with which they could stimulate their genital organs to open their channels and remove heat and semen, the researcher said. Other medieval authors claim that men could experience involuntary nocturnal pollution without having unclean thoughts or deeds, and that, anyway. They had the right to use the services of prostitutes while women could not. And you thought Pornhub was bad when they were busy saving lives. 3. The high price of virginity. Unlike now, where all you need to get married is to look like the combination of Barbie and Medea, back then wasn't so. The chastity of medieval young women was considered among their most valuable qualities for marriage, and the loss of virginity outside the marital relationship was regarded as sin, and not an accident or hall pass. The works of the time period detailed on how the virgins could be recognized so that those who would fish them would be sure that they were not deceived. The shameful, modest young men, those who had a smooth walk and kept their eyes down, could be considered virtuous. But the best proof of virginity was bleeding after sexual intercourse. Testimonies from the Middle Ages presented the advice by which young women could deceive their lovers by hiding that they were no longer virgins. The day before the wedding night, let her put a leech carefully on her labia, being careful not to let it slip by mistake. Then the blood will flow here and a crust will form there. Due to the blood flow and the constricted canal of the vagina, thus, in the sexual act, the false virgin will deceive the husband, was one of the advice given to the young people in medieval times. A simpler trick was to get the wedding night ready just as the wife was menstruating. Caterina Sforza, a 15th century countess, offered solutions for restoring or imitating the virginity of women. According to the countess, to prepare the potion of virginity, women needed to distill sage and water into a still, and then over time, apply the resulting mixture into the vagina. I guess that's what you get when you call them seeds or fish. Never call a woman a food or fruit, or she might make you drink the genitals of a gorilla. And before you say that's not a bad thing, Google it out. That's all I have for now. Don't forget to like this video if you found it entertaining, and also subscribe to our channel for more videos. Till next time.